Hi everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for watching my video, and hope you're doing well here in these June energies. More and more, I guess, revelations, more and more, things are being really explored or disclosed, right? And especially when we are raising our frequency vibration, tuning in, right? Feeling the cosmic energies coming online here. Our consciousness is expanding, we are shifting, changing, we're ascending, right? Energetically, vibrationally, guys, walking through portals, and we're multidimensional beings. And so the ET disclosure has been happening, or, it's going to happen, is imminent. For us who, we're the star seeds, we come from cosmos, right? So we're the galactic warriors here, the ground crew, whether from Andromeda, the Ashtar galactic command here, right? Helping with the ascension, with the transition to the next octave, harmonic universe number 2, soul connection, conscious expansion, and 5D. Remember, there's also Pleiadian portal, right? Those are Pleiadian energies here. And so we are also resurrecting the souls, or helping the souls from whether the 5D Earth Tara or from the Pleiades or Rosicrucians, right, who joined military here in this lifetime, who joined military MC under the MIC under DARPA, and ended up in black ops, dark projects. Especially everybody in military hooked to the Internet of all things, all kinds of experimentation, jabs. I especially focus on Hydra, DARPA, the CCP jabs, the Chimera group, the Orion group, Arachnoid, right, and my soul group, and we'll again continue the Fallen Tree of Life, and we continue the Hebrew races, the 12 Essene tribes. That's from the magic grill in lineages in the Middle East, okay? The Kabbalah tree of life, because this is the bloodline I represent, and how these children from the Jewish families were then kidnapped, right, and abducted during World War II. Again, there's a proof, all this confirmation. This is what I'm tuning into, these energies. This is what I resonate with, and these children, right, as also when you're blonde, blue eyes, right, and some of them probably already maybe a Nazi background, or they're from Pleiades, or the Nordics from the Orion. This is how our DNA is so convoluted, and we've been all like a melting pot here, okay? Also with the Anunnaki, right? So they are brought to these Naburian military bases, groomed, right, and kind of with the Enki DNA overlays, genetic modifications happening, or cloning is happening there. They're being tortured, they're being raped, and so on. And then you see them as the elite, as Mossad, the Zionists, all this stuff, right? And just kind of worshiping the negative aliens, right? They're possessed, their light bodies being possessed, okay? They have all kinds of chips, nanobots, nanotechnology, electronic implants. You have the alien mind control, alien holographic insertions, and so on, guys. I'm sorry whether this is complex for somebody, but we are complex beings, especially star seeds, right? Those Oraphim races also I represent from the mother lineages. When you go to Christos founder races, so this is the father line, okay? And so we've been dealing also with the seraphim, okay? So again, the Katara, the golden Christ, the golden crystal great, the golden Christ Templar, okay? This is what we have to return to, go back to the original baseball mathematics, the Lyra, in constellation Lyra, the cradle of human civilization, billions of years ago, right? The Stargate D12, Armathena. And this is unfortunately the digression, right? So what you see, we're dealing with the fallen angelics, the black sun, okay? And the Orion, Draco here. What does it say? Is it digressive, right? So unfortunately, because of the hybridization, alienization, forced breeding, invasion, right? And again, I read things holographically and energy. We work vibrationally and the archetypal level, the bloodline, but we're dealing with the anti-particle world. Here we're bringing the Rishi consciousness. This is how we can read with precision, right? If we meditate each and every day. So this is my assignment. I have to do what I have to do, right? We have now SEMPER, FIDELIS, SPIRITUS, SANCTUS, CHRISTOS, SOPHIA, Maria Magdalena, Fatima, Okay, Aurora, Andromeda, Rosa, Mystica, because my assignment is to totally convert the Marine Corps, the corporation, right? The devil was a dog devil, you know, everything in reverse. We have to bring everything right side up. We have to convert everything, how these Rosicrucians, Pleiadians were turned into digital avatars, into Satanists, under the Luciferian covenant, all this soul binding, blood covenant, and you know, Washington DC, all kinds of ritualistic black magic going on. Okay, the voodoo is going on there, the black witches and the red queen kind of satellite, the red trident, okay, in the solar system, the Nibiru, lots of the Nibiru military bases also, yeah, the lineage that I addressing, that we come from the Anunnaki, the Nibiru, and so on. It used to be paradise. Okay, so the digression's been huge, how we really fell down in consciousness in a very horrible way because of the Alpha Draconis, right? And again, we cannot complain much, but you know, we have to know our history, so then, you know, we can whether Alpha Draconis or the Sigma, right? Those are the black magicians, black magic sorcery. So they're hybridizing us, they're injecting their DNA into the royalty, and then, oh, you know, the red shield, and you know, they're making Satanists and drinking blood and all this stuff. But this, who we are not, this unfortunately negative aliens, they've been reptilianizing us, especially, you know, the Hibiru, or the royalty, right? The nobility, they were you know, doing all kinds of experimentations, and then through all these satanic rituals, or children born in those families, right, that they have to execute the Nazism 4.0. So we have to understand the agenda of those negative aliens. That's why we're here talking about very uncomfortable job, right, uncomfortable things, and about the ascension cosmology, ascension mechanics, okay, and how we are bringing everything into light. So ET disclosure is very important, exposing the wrongdoings, okay, and so we can finally ascend and live in peace, unity, harmony, Christos, SOPHIA consciousness. It's all about balance, return to that 0 point divine neutrality, right? So if you also some of these the Hollywood stars or the porn stars, and also if you see some of those bloodlines, right, they have been draconized or reptilianized. They have all the kind of black magic kind of sorcery DNA already inserted into their bloodstream, or into their chakra system, energy field, into their electromagnetic field, right? And again, I see who is watching, and I know you know, those individuals, the black magicians, women, okay, so I know what I'm talking about. And so unfortunately, this is the bloodline that even comes from the Eastern Europe, whether it's from Slovakia and so on. So you know, we are here to dismantling all that. The black magic grid, the Nephilim reversal grid, what is it? That's the Baphomet network. So the royalty, the Jewish family, right, who's been hybridized, you know, and also they have Nazis. This is what I represent, the hybrid Anunnaki, Nazi, Pleiadian faction. They're worshiping those negative aliens. We are the Baphomet network. That's why they're doing all these horrible rituals, sacrificing children, the blood sacrifice, even on Saturn, right? Saturn, Moon, all these satellites, and of course Mars with the Giza intelligence, the Niburian military bases, the Mars corporation colonies there, all this kidnapping and super soldier programs happening there, right? CRISPR technology, and they have a wormhole technology and time travel technology, and all this anti-gravity stuff going on, right? So this is all being now exposed, because this is ancient history from Atlantis, even from Lemuria. And we are going back home, like I said, some of us, you know, I mean, I come from the motherline lineages, the Elohai, the Orafim, right? So this is kind of, this is what I kind of represent, the divine feminine, the cosmic holy mother, and the digression is those are the fallen angelics and the Kabbalah. And you know, this is kind of you know, this is the connections that we are making, right? Also, I remember as a child growing up, I was very much into Buddhism, Buddha, right? Siddhartha, and also into Jewish Mystica Kabbalah. Okay, so you see how you know, as a child we are pretty much open to who we are, right? We still have a connection to God, to source, and then unfortunately through MK Ultra and this dysfunction in family and the society, indoctrination, political parties or communism, or here you know, you have your Nazism or you have your capitalism, right? And all these images, and you know, the food and GMO and all these chemtrails, and you know, you're not able to also express your truth. You're being persecuted, and just we've been all here programmed, dumbed down, desecrated, demonized, and not really able to express our truth, even though, you know, where's the Constitution of 1776? So we have to resurrect all that and bring everything right side up to the true you know, Rosicrucian societies, the true Mystica, right? So these symbology, those are the eternal lotuses, are coming online, right? It used to be here, the Lemurian colony. Okay, so anyway, this is from the book Hidden Realms, the Lost Civilizations and Beings from Other Worlds, right? So you know, it's all about diving deep and just resurrecting these codes of our original true divine essence, who we are, our etheric DNA, right? And a pure bloodline of that cosmic Christos Essene lineages, okay? And of that emerald order, gold order, amethyst order, okay? Very important. So and what else I wanted to show you? So let's go, let me see, Guardian Yeshua, there was something else. Here. Oh yeah, and what we are resurrecting. So the Rasha body, your sound field, this is what we work with. Again, there's a lot of violet flame. That's why I encourage everybody, you know, whether I'm a Marine of violet fire, I am the purity God desires, I'm a veteran of violet fire, I am the purity God desires, I'm a being of violet fire, I am the purity God desires, because these things, I mean, first there's resistance, there's probably hatred and so on, but once it starts kicking in, that's why you start deprogramming and rewiring your subconscious mind from all this black magic, from all this Armageddon software, pestilence programming, from all this death cult, from all this Satanism, Luciferianism, right? And more like you're increasing the frequency vibration, you have the transformational power within you, because then you become the violet flame in action. The AI of those negative aliens cannot affect you anymore, because they've been controlling and playing with our mind, right? The radio frequency, all these radiation being kind of radiated, right? The nanobots, nanotechnology, the black goo, right? With the Nazi Neuralink hooked to the cloud, and you know, hooked to that quantum supercomputers of those negative aliens, that they were inserting all kinds of holograms, right, in front of us because of the mirror neurons, and then they were creating robots or something who we are not, and totally dumbed down, and so many people clueless if you're not doing inner work, spiritual work, right? So very important to snap out of that illusion, out of that draconian terrorism, hypnosis, right? And start reconnecting with our heart, with our soul. SOS, we're here on a reconnaissance mission, right? Calling upon our soul, right? Blending with our soul, because there's a soul capture technology we've been dealing with, okay, with those black magicians, the Hydra, the Chimera group, and so on, right? And you know, that they were using us as batteries, damaging our chakras, damaging our energy field, damaging our meridians, okay, damaging or siphoning energy from our kundalini, damaging our mind, just totally mind controlling us, right? But we are the source, and then the negative aliens, or the dark deep corrupted state, right? The dark forces, they're masquerading like they're the gods, the Jehovah, and you know, it's just the black rock and the black sun, no, the golden sun, the golden liquid energies, they're here, right? So instead of the the lunar forces, we're solarizing everything, and galactivation is very important, right? So the solar transfiguration, everything is solarization. That's why we also talk about cosmic Christos solar dragons, and solar Christ Archangel Michael, right? Because even, you know, there's been a war between the Christed light and the Antichrist energies, the forces, right? So making sure everything is of that Ka-Raya Sata-Allah, of that crystalline architecture, base 12 mathematics, 144 harmonics, how important it is, and really important is to invoke the violet flame, right? Beloved, I'm presence bright. Round me, seal your tube of light. From ascended master flame, call forth now in God's own name. Let it keep my temple free from all discord sent to me, right? So to me, this is the true America, right? This is the Rosicrucian. These are the true Pleiadians, or the noble family, the white nobility family, right? Whether from Andromeda, from Lyra, from the Pleiades, from Sirius, and so on, right? So, you know, there's an ancient history, and there's been galactic wars even in those other constellations. And so now the other races that are watching us, because they already went through, you know, all these wars, and they know there's a victory of the light, and they're watching the earth and Mother Earth, Mother Nature. They're watching or the Pleiadians also, they're watching and helping us with this transformation process, right? So with the liberation and with the transition, with the enlightenment, with expansion of our consciousness, and they have all the technology we need to heal ourselves, right? To make things right side up, you know, to clear all this pollution, right? Even make order in the entire infrastructure, right? The science needs to be brought to its original order, and you know, to quantum science, to quantum manifestation, because our body is the ancient temple, right? And yoginis, right? We talk about the ancient art and science of yoga, and the inner work, the transformational work, the breath work, the chanting, the kriya yoga, the purification, right? It's unbelievable. You know, the in Tibet, Nepal, you know, we have the Rishi sages of the Himalayan mountains, their abilities, right? We all have been we were gifted by these abilities, but we need to, you know, take time for all that to do so. And you know, clean diet, you know, the superfood. I talk about fasting, right? And being in touch also with Mother Earth, with the circadian rhythm, right? With the cycles, and no more drinking, smoking, vaping, drugs, medications, right? Watching porn, and also on. Because in the military, right, in the Marines and so on, right, there are Rosicrucians, or the Pleiadians, they're from the order of Melchizedek, there are the Hebrew lineages, and so on. They're from Solar Christ Archangel Michael, that I said, the Holy Mother. There are Magic Grail lineages, and they're watching porn, they're involved in pedophilia and other horrible crimes, right, wreaking havoc in the Middle East, walking AI on the battlefield. They're digital avatars, and we now know how it's being done, okay, via AI and you know, highly advanced technology, and radio frequency and directed energy weapons, psychotronic weapons, you know, these microwave frequency, there's scalar weapons, CRISPR technology, right, satellites, Wi-Fi, just you name it. So, you know, we need to really understand all that, pay attention to that, you know, do the outside research, but then so important, the homework is to dive deep within and reconcile from within, to seizing that jihad, seizing that inner struggles, right? Through via self-love, self-care, forgiveness, and compassion. So, okay. So very important. So again, we are resurrecting these symbols of Templars. Okay, so the sacred geometry, right, was the order of the star, okay, the Pleiadians, and so on. Of course, we talk about the Emerald Covenant, again, Emerald Order, right? What does it mean? You can Google all that. So, Ascension Glossary, on Ascension Glossary, it's to unify the earth races through spiritual healing and freedom. Okay, to enter that's the Intergalactic Free World Council. And then We had, well, those who are this of the aura theme, the indigo, gray lines, lineages. We're here to awaken and to also evolve into the diamond sun DNA. We are supporting all humanity to generate their DNA towards diamond sun or golden sun DNA, and we're educating people about the hidden history, right, about the law of one, and talking about the bioregenesis, about healing, and allowing free will choice on what agendas humanity follows. And here we are upholding egalitarianism, which means equality, right? We're all equal. We all come from the great central sun, from creator, right? From one source, God, and so on. We're here for freedom, reverence for life, unconditional love, right? Oh, I love you, and all these conditions here. And, the love is God. Love is within you. God is love, right? So, and understanding universal laws, so how important it is, the 13 principles of natural laws, and aligning our chakras, our energy, right? And very important with all that is, with your beloved I am presence, and stand firmly in the light of truth, right? So that takes diligence, and was opening your psychic abilities, psychic self-defense, and everyday practice, spiritual practice. This is a boot camp here, spiritual boot camp. We need to correct everything, respect, how important it is to respect God's sovereign-free boundaries, and understanding the natural laws and following the natural laws and walking with Christ. How important that is. And of course, we are resurrecting here with a Trinity structure of the FIDELIS, right? The nobility here, the CHRISTOS Templar, SEMPER lineages, the Pleiades here, the royalty, the nobility here of, like I said, of the Rosicrucians, of that Templars, right? That also I represent. I'm the Dracos from the Pleiades. Originally from Lyra, right? And the Dracos also from the Andromeda. So, we have our higher self, we have our organic self, we have our soul on a soul level, and but also on a monadic level. Okay, so we are multidimensional beings, guys. And also we talk of the interdimensional levels, extra dimensional levels, and so on. So that's why everything is complex, and so diving deep within, doing the inner work, and we need to know our puzzle piece and really understand the structure, how nature operates, true life, how that is. And we need to understand our role here in this in this play of energies. Okay, it is a display here, so I'm making sure we're doing our best and leave the rest to God. That's why we are surrendering. So important to really surrender to all that is. And Holy Father, right, Sathya Sai Baba, the connecting to our cosmic parents. So this is my spiritual family. And again, that's what I was told. We're going back to God, we're going back to cosmos, no more detour. It is what it is. And from Andromeda, I was receiving these messages that the the MC, the Marine Corps, right, is all being helped, the energy needs to be resurrected, and it's all hosted by Andromeda, the Crystal Star family, the Aurora races, right? And those guys need rehabilitation. Those souls from Tara, those are the Pleiadians, the Rosicrucians, and so on, right? From the 5D Earth, that they need healing, rehabilitation via bioregenesis. My background is in yoga and Ayurveda, right? And here we talk about, let me see, the contracts, right? The contracts with DARPA and Ashtar Galactic Command, and so on, right? So divine union right here with the Karaya Sata Allah, right? So no more Satanism, no more Luciferianism, the blood covenant, soul bindings, Nazism 4.0, Armageddon software, pestilence programming, all this Zionism, right? And so on, right? That needs to be all dismantled. And it is full of mouth, but these individuals, right? Everybody's now responsible. This is what we've been dealing with. Okay? So yeah. So, and I'm all about, the ashram for Marines, yoga, Ayurveda, Ayurvedic diet, because this needs to be addressed. This is all collapsing, and it's now under the Galactic Codex, under the Law of One, under cosmic trials, and justice will be served. Okay, very important to understand that. So, and let's finish here. black tree of life, right? We talk about the maternal reversals and so on, and those are implants, and it's in the shadow body because those negative aliens that are controlling us through our shadow. So important is to dismantle the negative ego, right? So this is, I guess, Maria Magdalena, right? Symbology of you know, Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene, right? She was the twin, monadic twin of Yeshua, right? So Yeshua, so guardian Yeshua, we already talked about it. And yeah, the negative ego, right? I deal with goddess Kali. Kali Ma. Next time maybe we can chant Kali Ma. We already chant Shiva, right, with the violet flame. So very important. Maybe go through, you know, my previous videos there, Ashram for Marines and so on, and start dismantling, you know, these those negative factions, you know, that from those negative aliens, it was imprinted in our hologram, 10D hologram running reversals, right, and telling us who we are not, and then committing horrible crimes. But when naturally, even guys in the military or teenagers or people would not usually do that. How come all this conquer and divide and you know, all these egos going on, even at work, you know, just very trivial stuff, right? Just people cannot let it go. You know, you have to do some inner work, spiritual work, transformational work. So the negative ego, right, that like needs to be dismantled. We need to cleanse our light bodies, so our chakras, right? Talk about the Vija mantras, lam, vam, ram, yam, hum, om. How that is very important to unhook ourselves from that alien machinery, from the beast machine, right? That uses artificial intelligence to parasite off of us. They're taking our energy, our life force, and so on for their immortality, for us being immoral, unethical. 8 steps of yoga, right? That's part of the 12 essential protocol, and also it's the protocol. I mean, that's the contract, you know, for DARPA and so on, right? So very important to walk with Christ. And Holy Mother, Divine Mother have connection to the Divine Mother, not the Batman network and this, you know, the succubum, or, you know, the whole sex magic, all this black magic, you know, all this sodomy, right? All this raping. This is not normal. So those negative aliens, right, that needs to be adjusted, and they need to face, you know, face the justice, or, you know, this cosmic reckoning happening. And here, you know, these individuals, they need to repent, see the consequences of their actions, right, and start doing all these corrections. So we have a project for them for rehabilitation of their hologram, of their consciousness, of DNA, right? The Mossad, right, the Zionists, you know, the kind of these hybridized Nazi Jewish lineages, right? You like, for example, I already mentioned that name, right? Jan Ludwig Hoch, right? Born in Ukraine. Suddenly he's Robert Maxwell, right? How come? And I'm just recognizing, right, those Slavic lineages there through his daughter, Ghislaine, okay? And that you're going to Wikipedia, and he was, you know, Draco-Jewish Nazi kind of DNA happening, right? Where they take these children from a concentration camp, they witness their parents being killed, and that's how they're being groomed, how through fear, that's a trauma-based mind controlled, and then suddenly they are royalty, they're in Mossad, they're in CIA, they're mafia. Right? So how the Jewish lineages from Hebrew, right? And I'm also connected to Hindu, right? Hebrew Hindu. Then we're being weaponized, demonized, we're turned into cyborg digital avatars, and of course committed, committing horrible crimes. But it's done through via frequency vibration of those negative aliens, of their AI, through their super quantum computers. So we're in a computer simulation here, virtual reality. This is not a science fiction. It is extremely real. If you read energy, understand energy, if you're a star seed, if you're a highly advanced soul, right? If you're here in CHRISTOS mission, these things been happening for millennia, because even humanity, before being unplugged from their etheric DNA, they understood their galactic history, their galactic DNA, their galactic lineages. And of course, I'm dealing with zetas here. I can already hear it. I have hybrid children and so on. So, scrambling the DNA language, the Melchizedeks, they're all the 12 tribes, lineages of the Hebrew tribes who were given the genetic hosting responsibility to assist in the embodiment of the higher DNA language called Habiru. This language is a genetic code which originated from the cradle of Lyra in the avatar matrix timelines. Avatar, that's your 10D, soul star chakra, 11D, and 12D, right? Christ, that's your Christ mind, Buddha mind, and your Christos avatar cell, 12D avatar, right? And we talk about the return to rightful honor. When you claim your power back, you're resurrecting all your energies, you're commanding your space, you're connecting with your soul, with your oversoul, right? And aligning yourself, aligning your chakra, aligning your consciousness, aligning your intention with the law of one, with the perfect north direction, right? With the Rishi consciousness, the cosmic Christos founder races. The Melchizedek lines were attempting to salvage this ancient language of humanity on the earth, which was intrinsic to protecting the memories of the history of humanity in time codes. Upon the Luciferian rebellion, the Melchizedek lines became infiltrated by the Luciferian forces. The primary infiltration was from patriarchal Melchizedek, who developed a misogynistic bent based on the distortion of the Sophianic body, right? The distortions, all these operations, surgeries, plastic surgeries, and then putting all kinds of, nanobots, nanotechnology, and venom, and horrible chemicals, right? They're just totally desecrating this body of Sophia. This is a divine temple for our Christed soul. So we have to resurrect these codes. These lines started to lose their connection to the mother principle. From the many wars they justified in their beliefs that led them to commit intentional harm to others. So no more harm. Ahimsa, that's yoga. This is the fallen Melchizedek, once a universal unity consciousness. A faction of this Melchizedek consciousness succumbed to the illusion of inequality. Now we are restoring the quality between all races, nations, star nations in the entire galaxy, right? So here it's illusion that we're unequal between the gender principle, right? The male, the female, and so on, right? So we're all one, and we have both energies within us, right? The divine feminine with the divine masculine merging together in that 0-point divine neutrality within our heart, sacred heart. Tapping K27, right? Here's the area, even what is the energy psychology, energy medicine, right? Loving ourselves unconditionally. This is the key, the forgiveness. So important. Start feeling our true nature. Tapping, very important, right? Also activating our activating the marma points or the meridian points, very important, because if you end up in the fallen tree of life, how in the world can you channel energies? Of course you're a psychopath, of course you're a murderer, of course you're a rapist, of course you're a terrorist, and so on, right? You're involved in pedophilia. Usually you would not do it, right? If you original tree of life, you would know this is wrong, right? This is wrong. That's why the acupuncture is very important. It's all in that project, right? And Ashram for Marines, right? You need to get your exiotonal lines, the flow of life energy in your light body, get it going, right? So very important. And you have to free yourself from that sex misery, the Baphomet network, the lunar forces. Again, there's a latest newsletter on Lisa Energetic Synthesis, Lisa Renee, and her blog. Okay, so all these beautiful meditations, right? So yeah, and crystal ages, energetic synthesis, hieros gamos, right? These energies been here, amplified, and everything's been set here for us from extremely high places, more than a decade ago. Okay, so if you want the New Jerusalem, we showed you, right, the Grail lineages, the chalice, right, and all this structure, etheric cities even happening in Sedona, Arizona, right, and we have the new symmetry, the trichestra, right, the Celtic symbol, the encircled trinity, okay, the universal threefold founder flame is all happening, the natural cycles of Mother Earth, Mother Nature, Okay, so the interconnectedness with all that is the law of oneness, the law of correspondence, the law of one, right? Those are the 13 principles of natural laws. Everything is there. And we talk about the new Capella grid. You have the golden Christ Templar. Okay, this is, we work with sacred geometry. Okay, the divine architects. This is what we do here. So everything's been set and everything's been pretty much, established. And humanity is being liberated, right? So ascension is guaranteed, freedom is guaranteed, and we are now building the new earth. From within, right? Connecting to that inner Christos, to Holy Mother, Divine Mother, our cosmic parents, Holy Father, Holy Mother. And that's how we are meeting each other, right? Joining in unity, also with our galactic family, right? Those are ET communities in unity with their highly advanced technologies and living in peace, harmony, balance, Christos Sophia consciousness. And we are moving forward, okay? And so what else here? So very important to take care of our body. No more like how people are cutting themselves and, I don't know about the tattoo, but there's lots of poison in it as well, right? I used to have eczema, so I'm very protective of my skin, protective of my body. Everything's been done to me, right? So you have to start protecting your body, your energy field, your light body, right? So all these corrections happening and being on the sun, being in nature, walking on a beach, you're going to the mountains, hugging a tree, writing things down, PTSD time to heal, listening to solfeggio tones, right? This is how we're healing our entire system, our mind, our body, our soul, and spirit. And connecting to the crystal core Mother Earth, the 12D, right? This has been established since 2000. Because the faction of this Melchizedek, right? The consciousness succumbed to the illusion of inequality. This led to hive mind mentality and totally out of balance with unity. This patriarchal slant distorted the original base 12 mathematics, okay, into base 10. And so this became the primary root of all control over the patriarchy, the misogyny, all these masculine principles, and it damaged the structure of the rod and staff, right? And the reversal 1010 code was born and brought to earth from this distortion. This greatly impacted the 10 gate known as in Iran gate, and the Golden Eagle grid was impacted and infiltrated, and the family of Michael, which are the lineages of the blue ray Melchizedek. Ezekiel's curse of Yahweh. Ezekiel cannot go anywhere until this field is cleaned up in relationship to collective masculine consciousness, especially that which is connected to the Hebrew tribes. Hebrew and Hindu. This is what I always resonated with. Recently, it has been magnified that the bones and graves of prominent people like Ezekiel had been robbed by the negative aliens. They used the morphogenetic field. Remember, the morphogenetic field starts with AD 7, AD 9D, right? That's your antiparticle chakras. Morphogenetic field of certain key figures that they have picked for religious heroes or other roles that further the Yahweh, Jehovah, false father, God religions on the earth. Very important to distinguish these energies and even those words. Be careful. Especially, the Bible, the Anunnaki history there. You have to understand the Anunnaki psychology. The Nazi psychology is totally different from people here. And I can attest to that. I have a human experience. But here we come from the Hebrew, Anunnaki, Nibiru, races, bloodline, right? Those places there. And it's just total different game of mind, of psychology, of emotions, of feelings, right? So that's why it's so important. Yeah, we are harmonizing, balancing these energy fields, but it's so important to do the inner work and where we stand. Instead of judging, projecting, right? We need to do the transformational healing work. This is very important in the timeline of body elemental corruption. Yeah, so our elementals, the platonic solids been also hijacked, corrupted, and so on. Look at the soil, look at the water, look at the air, how that's been weaponized, demonized, corrupted, poisoned, GMO, just name it. And all these interesting, what is happening in, what is put into these jabs, and horrible chemicals. They were not even supposed to be produced, including plastic. That should not be, never allowed. How that all got, what's the word for it, like marketing, consumerism, how this all got into the corporation business, right? So anyway, so there's a lot of corruption that happened in our mitochondria into our DNA. That's why the new earth grid is all happening, right? The 12-day grid, right? All these resurrection codes, you know, so important. And yeah, with essential symptoms, it can be very painful, because you know how it is when you're detoxing, correcting things. It's not easy for anybody. But we have to be patient, and we are perseverance through love, devotion, dedication to the divine, right? Being of service, working on our projects, right? We overcome. The sacred Decade, guys. So there's so much also misunderstanding about this. Decade is a mystical symbol. It was very important to the secret worship of the Pythagoreans, which became the basis of many mystical teachings. Kabbalah, Freemasonry, Rosicrucians have claimed to have evolved out of this Pythagorean brotherhood. 10 is the all-inclusive structure of the four-dimensional universe, which also represents maintaining the domination and order contained within the structure. Thus, 10 also represents the matrix of that construct which hypnotizes and keeps one locked in the illusion of the third-dimensional world. This 9th stage of the galactic zodiac law of Ficus is transmitted to the planet in the combination of divine ether and water, or fire waters, which carry the archetype of the sacred wound healer of humanity's spiritual ascension. These 9 divisions of the magnum opus of alchemical law meet in Ficus and are 3 times 3 plus the universal prima materia, which is Azoth, life force, which equal to 10. The sacred Decade of Pythagoras, the Hebrew tetragrammaton, Yahweh, this YHWH-4, or Sephirot in the Tree of Life, are based on the sacred Decade or Tetractys. This is a triangular figure consisting of 10 points arranged in 4 rows, okay? So this all been also misinterpreted, twisted, inverted, perverted, right? Just like the teachings of the ascended ones, just like the teachings of Madame Blavatsky, just like the teachings of Alice Bailey, you know? So it just, you know, it's our responsibility to bring everything right side up. Via our inner work, spiritual work, cleansing, clearing, purification, opening up third eye, decalcifying the pineal gland, opening the crown chakra. These are planetary logos, right? Dismantling all these implants from those negative aliens, dismantling the 10D hologram of the Dracos, right? You know, the Alpha Draconis and so on, and aligning with the pure cosmic energies, with the original blueprint of our DNA, of our consciousness, including also AI. So, and yeah, so this is guys, so let's end this, because being able to, so this negative dark forces, right? This is because of the houses of ego, because not walking with Christ, and these the royalty, kind of the black nobility, right? They want to be possessed by those negative aliens to ensure their power position of control, right? That all needs to be dismantled. It's all dismantling, because those fallen angelics, this is the Luciferian, the satanic forces, right? They wanted to hinder our ascension. So this is all dismantling, but you know, the war is going on column, whether within us, around us, you know, above the surface, on the surface, also in this underground, right, in the solar system, in this galaxy, guys. This been ongoing for a long time. So it's now each of us responsibility, you know, what we're tuning in, what we're doing, what we are also thinking, what are we projecting, what we are putting out there, what we are building, what we are forming, or what kind of art we are creating, right? Because we are the creators, right? You know, the creator is within us, the God codes are within us. So you know, there's really nobody kind of outside of us, right, to change or to shine the light. We are the column of light shining bright, and we're the one here making the difference, right? So being compassionate, right? Being very compassionate with everything that's been happening, that's transpiring, right? Forgiveness is very important. So this is Kuan also very much connected with the kind of Asian, Malaysian kind of history and spirituality and so on. And yeah, here, time to be the column of light, shining bright and be of service. Okay? And don't forget to invoke the violet flame and play with the dolphins. Okay? So many blessings and namaste. I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.